Hello everyone and welcome back to the Stadium Showdown, your in-depth look at the future home of the Cleveland Browns. I'm Jeff Slauson. This week we have an in-depth look at the latest as far as the actual construction taking place, because for the first time the Browns are starting to dig down into the ground. The pit is starting to slowly form. This is a biggie. For those that are unfamiliar with how this dome is actually going to be built, take a look at this rendering. You may notice something about it. It's half in the ground, half above ground. When you walk in, if you're going down to the 100 level, you'll actually be walking down steps, similar to what currently is in place in Buffalo, New York, with their now old stadium. You would walk in at the midpoint and then walk down. The current Brown Stadium, you're climbing up or you're at that level. This is needed because of its proximity to the airport. So the actual process of digging into the ground has begun. We've shown you videos of dirt being moved. That's not the official beginning process. This really is. So first, let's show you exactly what it looks like from the overhead view, and then ultimately some of the drones that were shared with us there. And then we're going to get to some sound on it really quickly, listening to some folks related to it. First, before we do get to that, the timeline here is really important. We had been told that the official groundbreaking was going to take place in Q1 of 2026. We're at the end of that. Q1 of 2026 ends this month, right? So important to get this part done. The next part's going to be the ceremonial groundbreaking. That's when you have the Haslams, you'll have probably Roger Goodell, you'll have the Brook Park mayor, you'll have a bunch of people that are going to be there with hard hats that look like Browns helmets and whatever. And they will be kind of ushering in the official beginning of construction. That's now going to be taking place in late April. But according to the Browns, they are still on track for everything to be good for 2029. And again, it all starts right here. So let's listen to some of the information that comes to us courtesy of the Cleveland Browns and Haslam Sports Group.
A big day here for at New Huntington Bank Field and Brook Park, and obviously for the city of Cleveland and for all of Northeast Ohio, as we're digging the hole for the new stadium that's going to be open here in 2029. So yeah, it's a big monumentous day. We're excited. It's a brisk March cold day here in Cleveland, but it's a big day, and we're very excited to get this project going. For the whole family, our fans, I mean, this is exciting for them and for this community. I mean, what we're building here is not just going to be a new first-class stadium, mixed-use development and all the different events that we're going to have here, but the amount of jobs that this will create kind of temporarily with the construction crews, permanent jobs that this create, the amount of new revenue that we hope to drive and bring into this city and this community, it's going to be amazing for Northeast Ohio. We're just excited about that, and the home of the Cleveland Browns at Huntington Bank Field is going to be amazing. Listen, the level of commitment we're putting into this building just says everything about what we believe in here about Northeast Ohio. And like I said, the amount of jobs, the amount of revenue, the amount of big events that we're going to bring here and really create a work, live, play environment that this community needs. And I think the amount of attention that this stadium is going to get, not just locally, but nationally, when people kind of want to come see it, it's going to be first class. It's going to be amazing. And our family, all of HSG, the state of Ohio, everybody that's been involved in this project and their level of commitment to see that this vision, like we can't thank them enough. And we're excited to get this thing going. As you can see today, we're digging the hole, and it's going to be an amazing project here in a couple of years. Yeah, listen, Paramount, I mean, obviously we're going to have an official groundbreaking here on April 30th. It sounds like we'll hopefully have Commissioner Goodell here and Governor DeWine and other dignitaries, I'm sure. But today's a big day. I mean, as you can see, the earth is moving. It's officially happening, and I think talking to our construction team here in about 45 days, we'll really see how much this will develop, and then it's going to really take shape here before you know it. And seeing this new stadium come up, I think is going to be great for this community to see the excitement that'll be around it. Listen, I think this is a revenue generating project that we're excited about, and I think the amount of people that are going to be working on the project, I think we'll have close to 5,000 plus construction jobs. We'll have 5,000 plus potentially full-time jobs around here. So the amount of activity that's going to happen and kind of the events that you want to bring into this place, like a Final Four or a Super Bowl or other things like that, the economic impact that it'll have to this region will be paramount. for Brook Park and seeing kind of what's going on here. It's great for this community. It's great for the people of Brook Park. Obviously, Berea's right around the corner, so we've got a lot going on there. So what we're doing in this part of Cleveland is pretty special, and we're just excited to see it all happen and for people to come and enjoy it every single day. Yeah, I mean, March 2nd, 2026, and we've got a lot of trucks going on here. Our team with AECom Hunt, they're doing a fantastic job, and it's monumental. I mean, it's hard to believe that all the years and times we've talked about this, that we're finally gonna have a brand new dome stadium here in Brook Park to be home to the Cleveland Browns, and hopefully, like I said, many other events for years and years to come for everybody to enjoy. So it's a special day for our family and for the Browns organization. So we're excited. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a big day for us, but for our fans, like to be able to come and have a world-class stadium that they can call home is going to be incredible. I think a lot of new amenities that our fans haven't had in the old building that they'll have in the new building, the comfort of being, in a dome, and obviously having the ability to have a roof that's going to be almost very translucent, so you feel like you're outside. So I hope our fans come and enjoy it, which I know they will, and we're doing everything we can to put a great product on the field for them to be excited about as Browns fans, and we can't thank them enough for their support.
Hi, my name is Torrance Spratt. I'm the Vice President for Turner Construction. We are thrilled to be a part of one of the largest construction projects here in Ohio. The Haslams, along with the Hunt-Turner joint venture team, are truly committed to providing meaningful opportunities to local businesses and residents here. Approximately 75% of the total workforce hours for this project is going to be completed by local residents. It is our goal to ensure that we're going to create thousands of jobs that really help benefit Northeast Ohio, and we look forward to accomplishing that goal over the next several years. This is so exciting for me personally. I'm born and raised here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm a die-hard Cleveland Browns fan. So being in construction, this is truly a dream come true to be a part of this wonderful facility. I look forward to opening day in 2029.
I'm Pat Whipperman with AECom Hunt Turner joint venture. So this is exciting. We're starting to dig down our 80-foot deep excavation to get all the way down to the bottom of the hole to then start coming back up out of the ground with the new Cleveland Browns Stadium. It means a lot, it means everything. I mean, this is going to be a revenue generating, this is going to bring a lot of local workforce, putting them back to work, with the idea that we're going to have at least over 75% local workforce building this project. So it's not just the construction that we're doing out here, but there are a lot of construction jobs that are going to be coming out from drywall, from concrete, from studs and structural steel, but it's also the support staff in and around it, the local hotels, the restaurants, the developments that are going to pop up to really make this a big new anchor for this part of the town. We have 4 local partners that are part of our team, and we're looking for all of our subcontractors and everybody to join in that partnership and bring all these local partners to the table.
So the groundbreaking again is going to be taking place in late April. Just to give you a couple of numbers here related to how large the excavation is actually going to be. They're digging 80 feet deep down into the ground. It's going to be 2 million cubic yards of dirt. So a lot obviously needed for this. 75,000 fans is no short feat. And when you have half of the stadium built into the ground, you got to move a lot of dirt. So that's all going to start now, and then ultimately once that's cleared, then you could see construction really starting to begin on the actual thing itself. Now I bring up the Buffalo Bills for a reason. The Buffalo Bills' old stadium was built that way, and their new stadium, which is going to be opening this fall, same idea. So that pit, like I said, was a large area, and it took quite a bit of time for them to kind of clear that before they could start to build. So that's where I want people to kind of be hesitant. The actual dig out process, I mean, 2 million cubic feet of dirt is massive. It's massive. They're digging 80 feet deep with a massive circumference. So be expecting that the actual digging portion is going to take a large amount of time. If you don't see anything significant, quote unquote, happening in that area, don't be surprised. This stuff takes a long time. The digging portion especially takes a long time. And again, in late April, that's when we're going to have the official groundbreaking on it. And then, of course, potentially starting to see a little bit more. But still, you got to have the dirt move before really anything else does take place. All right, and coming up after the break, we hear from Brook Park, their latest updates from a couple of meetings that they had this week. They gave permission to start to look into different avenues for different things for infrastructure. They break down the report that we talked about last week. A ton of stuff to come. Really quickly, of course, after a short break. Welcome back. Last week, you may remember the master plan that was released from Brook Park, which covered absolutely every single aspect of their plan for not just the dome, but the area around it. I mean, we are talking everything as large as hotels and as small as signage and shrubs. This gives people a holistic approach to be able to determine whether or not they think this is a good idea. I mean, it also shows traffic patterns, things like that. It's needed. We were waiting for a document like this, and we are glad to finally have it. And now we are able to fully dissect it because it's been a couple of days, and we actually can hear from Brook Park in this. So first, let's hear from Brook Park from Monday. They held a special session to discuss a wide variety of things. Let's hear from the mayor.
So tell us about this meeting tonight. It seems like the commission wants to move pretty quickly with potentially approving this plan.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you that I thought the presentation was great. We love the contents. We're changing. Brook Park's evolving into something different. The whole region's evolving. This is going to be something special. And I like how the presentation went. I like how our planning commissioners are going to make sure that they take their time and go through this packet, because there's a lot of information in there. I already know it. I've been working with the developers for some time now. I know it's something special, and I think it's going to be a great addition to our city.
I think the big thing here is obviously the Dome Stadium is a huge deal, but it's what is going up around that, which we're hearing about tonight. What do you make of what you've been hearing in terms of the retail, the hotels, the apartments, from young professionals to empty nesters?
I think it meets the market demand. As you know, right now there's a housing shortage, so we're excited about putting in, luxury apartments. I think that's going to be really nice. Having a hotel with 452 hotel keys right next to the airport is going to be great for our region to get people in and out and be able to do the business that they need to do as we continually grow this area.
The mass excavation started today. Can you just, seeing it materialize, seeing the work being done, can you just talk about how significant that is for your city and just for this region as a whole?
It's exciting. It's something that we've been waiting for some time. We've been working on this project for exactly 3 years. March 2026 marks 3 years that the first conversation had with the city of Brook Park and the Haslam Sports Group. A lot of hard work has gone into this, and just to know that we have a shovel in the ground is exciting. I mean, it's finally here.
A big part of this mixed-use development is the year-round aspect, not just on game days, but for people, this is going to be a neighborhood for them. Why is that so important? Why is that a big, important part of this mixed-use development?
Well, I think it's important because it's right next to Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. It becomes a gateway to our region, and I think that it's something that helps us as a community evolve into something different. For many years and many decades, the city of Brook Park has been known for industrial. We manufacture here, and we still do, and we're proud to have that. But now more land has opened up for redevelopment, and we have an opportunity to put something special here.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah.
Just one formality here. So obviously these preliminary plans were approved tonight. You're going to come back for a special meeting, and then more plans obviously are going to come forward.
Right. It's not abnormal for sometimes bigger projects to be able to need a second look, and that's happened before. There's precedent here in the city of Brook Park, but also this is the largest project that this city has ever seen. Ford Motor Company came here in the late 1940s. We were still a village. We didn't become a city until later on. And for them to be able to want to take a next look at that, I think is a responsible action of the Planning Commission. But the procedure is going to be that we need to follow the Planned Unit Development District 45-day rule. So we're going to be committed to making sure that we work with our planning commissioners, help them answer any questions that they may have.
So essentially a decision has to be made by the end of this month then? If it started February
Yes, it'll be
13th-ish?
45 days from the 13th of February.
So the commission has to approve it by the end of this month?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Anything else about these plans or something that you want to make sure you emphasize to the community tonight?
It's here, it's coming, and we're extremely excited. So stay tuned and be patient with all the construction that's going to be here for the next few years.
Haslam Sports Group was also at that meeting where they were discussing the full plans, because obviously they worked with Brook Park on all of them. So let's hear from the Browns representative now.
Yeah, it was really exciting to have our development partner, Lincoln Property Company, here. They're the best at what they do, sports anchored mixed use development all over the country. So seeing the plan that they've worked on for months and months with the city of Brook Park, with the mayor and his staff, You know, it's a really exciting milestone, especially coming on the day that we started mass excavation. Just a great day, not only for our organization, but for the community and our fans.
I was just going to say, how do you feel given, seeing that mass excavation today and then coming forth the commissioner sharing that development plan about what's coming up around the stadium? What has that been for you so far?
It's really exciting. We've been working on this for years and years. You know, we started future stadium planning many years ago, and now we're here. We're building the project for our fans, for the region, and we couldn't be more excited.
In this plan, you guys have emphasized the year-round community feel, having apartments, having a farmer's market in the summertime, potentially ice rink in the wintertime, whatever it may entail. How important is that community feel year-round, especially outside game days?
It's tremendously important. You know, the development and this level of private investment does not make sense unless you're going to have that year-round activity. And we want a place that is about way more than football. Of course, it's going to serve the Browns and our fans, but the stadium is going to be a lot more than just football games. And the site and the project is a lot more than just the stadium. So year-round, live, work, play, 365. It starts today, and we're really excited.
Even furthermore, I mean, what do you want the community to take away just from these preliminary development plans? Just, I'm hearing hotel rooms and apartments and retail and restaurants. What do you think is a big takeaway for the community from this?
I would hope that the community is really excited that Northeast Ohio is getting something great that it deserves. We're so proud of our project and the work we've done. We're proud of our partners, Lincoln and so many others who have helped us. We have a saying, Northeast Ohio and Cleveland deserve nice things, and this is one of many. The Lakefront, the Bedrock Project, there's so many great things happening in our region, and we think that we hope that the community is as excited as we are.
And then, of course, moving forward, just procedural-wise, you're going to keep coming back to present these phases, these different plans, just for the planning commission and your role, and just as this obviously evolves.
Yeah, we can only do this with amazing public partners. The mayor, his team, the planning commission, they're obviously really excited about this project, but they need to be thorough. They need to do their diligence. This is a 50-plus year vision and project, and we have to get it right. Our ownership and our organization shares that priority.
So if this is approved potentially later this month, you guys hope to break ground in the first quarter of 2027, is that right?
Yes, on the mixed use.
On the mixed
use, yes. 2027, so it's about 6 or 9 months behind the stadium project. And then they'll both open at the same time in the spring of 2029.
And that development plan obviously is going to be still constructed, still things added to it, even beyond 2029.
Absolutely. It's fluid. It's going to evolve. It's called a preliminary development plan. There will be many final development plans, and it's really going to evolve with market conditions. But we know there's going to be a critical mass of development in 2029 with the stadium.
That then naturally brings us to Tuesday night when they have their regular meeting. Now, during that meeting, I want to read this very clearly here, and I'll pull this up right now. This is from Caitlin McCarthy's article on cleveland19.com. The Brook Park City Council voted to authorize the city's engineer to provide engineering consultation and review services for the building of the Dome Stadium and mixed-use area around it. So essentially, the city's, remember, this is private, right? This is a private and public partnership, essentially. But the city engineer is going to have a very close relationship to it. That's very important because, according to the mayor, and I'll pull this quote up right now, it's just being able to authorize us the funds to be able to afford our engineer and all the extra work that him and his firm has to be able to do to make us successful here on this project. Because remember, Brook Park has not seen a project of this size. They don't have the capabilities yet, whether that's physical or financial. So doing this opens up a lot more platforms for them to be able to actually fundamentally operate in a large way. Let's take you to Caitlin McCarthy's story from that night. Not a massive update from Monday to Tuesday, but I still think significant enough to show you her story.
Stephen, please call the roll.
Mancini.
Yes.
Brook Park City Council authorizing the city's engineer to provide engineering consultation and review services for the building of the Dome Stadium and mixed-use area around it. Mayor Edward Orcutt spoke with us at Tuesday night's meeting.
It's just being able to authorize us the funds to be able to afford, our engineer and all the extra work that him and his firm has to do to be able to make us successful here on this project.
On Monday, excavation started for the new Huntington Bank Field, a major milestone to get the stadium up and running in time for the 2029 football season.
Anything that has to do with civil engineering, Ed Piatek will be taking care of that for the city as he's done for many years.
This comes on the heels of the Haslam Sports Group presenting its preliminary development plan for the mixed-use area around the stadium to the city's Planning Commission. The preliminary development plan includes the layout of where parking, apartments, and restaurants will be in relation to the stadium. During the Haslam Sports Group's presentation Monday night, it included nearly 1,600 residential units, a 462-key hotel, and close to 300,000 gross square feet of retail space. The Haslams are hoping to have the project completed by spring of 2029. In Brook Park, Caitlin McCarthy, 19 News.
All right, coming up after the break, Burke Lakefront Airport. Sick of hearing me talk about that yet? Well, we heard from the city and multiple different organizations surrounding it about what in the world can actually go there, and there's a really surprising answer I want to get into after a short break. Welcome back. So we've talked about Burke Lakefront Airport for a lot of the last couple of weeks here. We didn't touch on it in the show because we had quite a few things that happened last week, but there's a survey that is being asked of the public to basically determine what they would want Burke to become, right? We know now that the Browns are leaving. So that space becomes open space, which is obviously very interesting. But you want that to be incorporated with whatever turns into, if Burke closes, what the future of Burke Lakefront Airport actually is. So we heard during a town hall the city's position, but something that I thought was really interesting from a councilman. Let's listen.
Well, first of all, thank you. And something that the audience may not know is prior to, this is a decade ago, but I used to work for the city of Cleveland on lakefront development. And I think a frustration of mine going back for many years now has been, we've spent, as the mayor said, so many mayors have had plans about how to redevelop the entirety of the lakefront, whether or not that includes Burke. And I think that we've come to, there's almost a public expectation that it's so intuitive, why aren't we doing it? And I think the takeaway that I've been trying to get out to the public, and I think that the public sector has done a bad job of conveying, nothing about developing Cleveland's lakefront is intuitive. When you talk about this used to be Lake Erie, when you talk about access rights for original lakefront property owners, when you talk about financing, let alone building on fill, it's a very, very challenging site. And I keep getting asked, do I favor closing Burke or do I think it should stay open? And the truth is, I don't have a solid answer for that right now. I am in the discovery phase. And city council, we are conducting some hearings for ourselves and for the public to get educated on all of the ins and outs on this conversation, because getting back to your question, for reasons that I won't go into the rabbit hole, but I'm happy to, you just let me know, is simultaneously true that Burke is not a moneymaker for the city of Cleveland, but it is also not dragging down our general fund, which is how we pay for routine city services, police, fire, snow plowing, potholes, pothole filling, we fill the potholes. And I think a reasonable question is, how much would it cost to redevelop Burke, and what would it generate in not even regional economic growth, but in direct revenues to the city of Cleveland, and how long would it take for that break-even point to occur? And we are not in a position to simply take on 450 acres of passive park space with picnic tables. The city of Cleveland struggles to maintain the parks it has because we are a smaller city built for 1 million people. And I think what I am trying to lead through city council right now is a not overly slow, but a methodical conversation that understands the budgetary consequences of all of this, holding out a scenario in which, and it may not be your preferred scenario, but a lakefront airport could be the best worst land use. We talk very often about the highest and best land uses. There's a universe, I think, where we'd have to acknowledge that the city of Cleveland may not be able to accommodate the sort of development we would want, given the fact that we are a smaller city. And what we have charged the mayor and his administration, as Scott and his organization, with is to come with us come to us with a plan. Not to quote our president, but we had a lot of concepts of a plan. We had a lot of pictures of what could be, but those were not made with thinking of a budget. We need to think about what our budgetary constraints are and understand what can be done, how it would impact revenues, and make sure that if this is not an airport, it's not affecting the ability for an ambulance to arrive for you or for your street to get plowed.
So Mayor Justin Bibb really wants to close it in its entirety. But as you heard, it's not necessarily a priority for council fiscally. That's because while Burke is not making nearly as much money as it did previously, it's not at a deficit for the city of Cleveland. Right now, when it goes on the books, it's not a problem. It's bringing in some funding. That's all they really want. So you can't have it be replaced then with just open space and picnic tables, as that councilman said, because that's bringing in no revenue. And a lot of people potentially are thinking that they're just going to turn it into a large 450-acre park. It's just not going to happen. You need some sort of funding. You need something in there that is going to fundamentally allow for some sort of money to come in and out, and then ultimately to get people to actually spend money there as well. I'm just going to pull this up really quickly. This is like the three-pronged approach that the city is looking at when it comes to it. So you want to make sure that it can be successful economically. You want to make sure that obviously it's something that people are going to have access to and be able to get access to. And then you want to make sure that if you need the funds for it, people are interested, companies are interested in supplying that funding. So you have to think about all of those things when you're considering a potential for tearing down Burke, what's going to go in, and what's actually going to make a change. And of course, if you want to watch any of our previous coverage, go ahead to the QR code on your screen right now. That is the latest information for the latest episodes of the Stadium Showdown. All right, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We will have much more to come, of course, online and on air and next week in next week's episode. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. Have a fantastic weekend. We will see everybody next week.